Robbery in progress. All cars in here.
Every day, hundreds of thousands of patrolmen report for duty, armed with a badge and the latest in video technology. You are about to witness their never-before-seen footage, their stories caught on tape. Now, on Disorderly Conduct, we've got thrills. Yeah! We've got spills. We've got pits. And we've got fits. We've got it all now on Disorderly Conduct. It's the sound of pure terror. A suspected carjacker has reportedly kidnapped 3 women in Pickens, South Carolina, but one of the victims is able to call the cops on her cell. Deputies rush to catch up, but that's little comfort to the petrified passengers. At one point, you can even hear what apparently is the suspect's voice.
I'm sorry.
Up ahead, when the man slows for traffic, the young women are able to jump out of the car. Moments later, cruisers catch up to the stolen Honda as it tears through downtown traffic. Its victims are safe, but this guy is still a threat to every person in his path. When troopers try to box him in, the driver decides to race directly into oncoming traffic.
He's in the opposite bound lane.
Officers can only hope against a head-on collision as they keep even with the suspect. At this point, the Honda is directly across the median from the cruiser with the camera. Then, without warning, the suspect hangs a sharp right. The man apparently thinks he can escape by cutting between squad cars. He's wrong. Other officers see the collision and slam on the brakes. The suspect bails on foot, but the cop who hit him is hot on his tail. The man is caught within minutes. He's later booked for armed kidnapping, carjacking, and numerous traffic violations. In the end, his 20 minutes of terror could cost him many years in prison. It starts as your garden variety pursuit in Canton, Ohio. The driver doesn't drive that dangerously or even that fast. The man just doesn't seem to get that you're supposed to pull over when the police signal you to stop. Suddenly, this guy gets crazy. Canton is home to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and the suspect drives like a running back flying down the field. After 10 minutes of twists and turns, the man decides to pull a surprise exit. He speeds up the off-ramp as the light turns red up ahead. Big mistake. A pickup truck packs a punch right to the midsection. Amazingly, the injuries are fairly minor, but the charges are anything but. The suspect is booked for felony fleeing, operating a vehicle while intoxicated, and reckless driving. Police attempt to pull over an erratic driver in Traverse City, Michigan. The suspect takes the chase to the next level when he leaves the highway. and they're off. Through the fields and trees. The suspect blasts his way through a cherry orchard. The chase leads through some early spring snow on the ground. The suspect hits the hardtop again. The officer cleans his windshield and looks for an opportunity to use the pit maneuver. That one worked. The officer plants a perfect pit on the truck's rear bumper. The suspect can't hang on and flies across the lane, overturning in a ditch. The officer gets out for a look. The suspect is lucky and not badly hurt. Paramedics extract him from the wreck, and he's treated for minor injuries. He is charged with DUI and fleeing. Hang on to the wheel. More disorderly conduct is coming down the road. A suspect gets a hit and tries to run. And this skateboarder, well, he just gets hit. Look out! Disorderly conduct is rolling hard. A couple of suspected drug dealers are on the run in Beaumont, Texas. The driver whips through a parking lot, then floors it down the wrong side of the road. For some reason, he thinks he can make it through a crowded intersection. He's wrong. The speeding caddy slams into an unsuspecting driver. Look closely. After he hits the car, the driver hits the road. After ordering the passenger to stay put, the officer takes off after the escaping suspect. He darts across the street, runs past a bank, and jogs across a parking lot. The officer moves to cut him off. It doesn't take long because this guy is already exhausted. Seconds later, the suspect is tackled to the ground off camera and taken into custody. After other officers arrive, the man is hauled off to jail where he's booked on drug charges. His passenger is jailed on the drug counts as well. And fortunately, the innocent motorist survives. It's a typical sight on many neighborhood streets in Toronto, Canada. Kids on skateboards dodging in and out of traffic. This skater has to make a serious move to get out of the way of the blue car. But there's yet another skater behind him. And this time, nobody's backing down. It's a chilling look at what can happen when wheels collide. Even more astounding, the kid survives with only a broken wrist and a few bruises. It was a David meets Goliath for sure. But this time, the law came down on the little guy. He was cited and ticketed for skateboarding in the middle of the road. That hurt too, but not as much as this. There's soccer moms. There's daycare moms. Then there's this mom. The woman at the wheel of this SUV is on the run from police in Oak Grove, Kentucky. When they tried to question her for fraud and identity theft, she hit the highway. She also has a surprise in store for officers when they pull up alongside. It seems today is her day to watch the neighborhood kids. And she's got a car full. 5 children are in the speeding SUV as it reportedly hits 110 miles an hour and narrowly misses other drivers. You can only imagine what's going through the kids' minds as she takes this off-ramp, then loses control. When a cop goes to cut her off, she rams him. When he jumps out of his cruiser, she backs up and proceeds to run over the officer just off camera. Another trooper pulls up, but decides he better get out of her way and help his fallen comrade. The car, packed with kids, is back on the road as Mom continues this field trip of felonies. There's too much precious cargo on board to even consider a pit maneuver. Finally, the woman ends the pursuit herself when she misses a turn, takes out a mailbox, and hits a parked pickup. You can see the frightened young ones getting out as the officer goes for the driver. The woman is tackled, and the chance of her escaping again is about the same as her receiving Mother of the Year. She's booked for evading police, as well as numerous charges of wanton endangerment. Fortunately, neither the officer she hit or the kids in the car are seriously injured. Keep the seatbelt on. Disorderly conduct is only beginning. A suspect brings a knife to a gunfight. And an officer lays down the law by throwing down spike strips. Yeah! All that and more when disorderly conduct returns. Adairsville, Georgia. State Trooper Mike Ralston checks out a truck parked overnight at a freeway rest stop. It turns out the owner of the truck is in a federal prison.
Or they just let you have the vehicle? Well, yeah, it's insured in my name and everything.
The information checks out, but the trooper wants to be sure.
Are you carrying anything in the back of the truck? My clothes.
They go through everything in the truck with no problem. Until there's only one box left. The suspect pulls a knife out of the box and goes on the attack. Trooper Ralston is in grave danger. He pulls his gun. A shot rings out. The suspect is hit in the stomach and screams.
Yahoo! Give me an ambulance. 1018. Man down. Shots fired. Just stay right where you at. Just lay down. Stay right where you at. Right where you at.
The suspect may be shot, but he's still resisting.
1018. Shots fired. Sir, stay right where you at. Right where you at. Y'all give us a backup. 1018.
He keeps pressure on the trooper as if looking for a way to attack once more.
Sir, just lay down. Lay down! Lay down, sir!
The struggle moves off camera again.
Don't shoot me again, please.
I will.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
The trooper shows incredible restraint with the injured suspect, who simply will not stop. But the man is really pushing his luck.
What's your problem?
I'm scared of you.
Everything's gonna be okay. I got an ambulance coming. Just behave.
I'm afraid of you.
Why?
Will you pull a gun on me?
With a knife coming at me, yeah.
Finally, the trooper is again faced with no choice. The suspect is going down, but not from a bullet.
Stay right there.
Incredibly, the suspect finds his feet again and stays on the attack. They go off camera again. But this time, the suspect runs out of steam as the trooper tries to get him cuffed.
All right, easy. Easy.
He's finally subdued, and the trooper leads him back to the patrol car. Both men have clearly had enough.
Just lay down right there. Lay down.
Yeah,
Lay down.
move very well.
Just lay down.
And this time, the suspect is getting little sympathy.
Well, you just have to do it in your pants.
The suspect is treated at a hospital and survives his injuries. And it turns out he had reasons for pulling that knife. In that box, troopers reportedly found 300 grams of cocaine, which got him charged with possession as well as assault.
Man down, shots fired.
Trooper Ralston was cited by the state for extraordinary professionalism, courage, and self-discipline.
Now stay right there.
Phoenix, Arizona. Sheriffs pursue an escaped inmate and a passenger in a stolen pickup truck. The suspect, believed to be armed and dangerous, already has one spiked tire. But Deputy Tim Mason wants to slow him down even more. A cameraman on a ride-along rolls tape as the suspect approaches. The spike strip hits an already flat tire, but the deputy isn't giving up. Down the road, he tries it again off camera. And hits the remaining front tire. And the next one hits a rear tire, giving the suspect 3 flats.
Got it again, baby!
He's on a roll, and he's going for 4.
Have you units move around. I'll get that last tire.
It's a hit.
All tires are flat, and I've cleared the sticks.
And if you're wondering where in the world this guy's going to run with 4 spiked tires, how about this? The wrong way on a busy freeway.
He's getting on the freeway the wrong way.
The deputy decides he has no choice but to go for it. It's crunch time. Deputy Mason has the suspect fully under his control as he plows him off the freeway. The guy even surrenders while he's still moving. And with one last shove, he's thrown to the side of the road. Cops are out with guns drawn. The 2 suspects are removed. One through a door. And the driver through the window. are not injured and arrested for robbery, drug possession, aggravated assault, and on outstanding warrants. Deputy Mason has one spectacular bit of police work caught on tape.
Yeah!
And most importantly, one that everyone walks away from.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up! Get your move!
You ain't seen nothing yet. Stick around for more disorderly conduct. Meet the circling suspect. And he's given up his car, but this freeway chase is still going. Don't run away. We've got more disorderly conduct coming up. Los Angeles, California. A news chopper looks on as police pursue a dangerous and violent suspect. Federal agents open fire on the suspect, shattering the passenger window and wounding him in the arm after he rammed one of their cars. And he's still not shy about using this Jeep as a weapon. It's not a high-speed chase. The suspect thinks he can accomplish more by driving in U-turns and circles. The officers regroup, and the chase is on again. The suspect keeps police guessing, then pulls a U-turn. As the chase progresses, more citizens are getting into the act. A woman with a child in her arms runs up for a word with the suspect. And a bunch of kids try a little crime stopping of their own with a trash can and a shopping cart. Perfect timing, but not quite enough to do the job. The suspect keeps up his tricks, but cops are not deceived. He's still dangerous and desperate, and he's about to prove it. He bursts through a gate of a storage facility, but getting out won't be so easy. As cops have already blocked the exit. With no way out, the suspect puts it all on the line and heads straight for the patrol car blocking the alley. He smashes through the fence and pushes the car back. But it's not enough. The officer jumped out of the car before it was rammed. And now more cops are out with guns drawn. The suspect is dragged from the car. His right arm is bleeding from a gunshot injury sustained earlier in the chase. He was treated and turned over to the FBI for assaulting federal agents and on other warrants including mail and wire fraud, all of which brought him to a dead end. A suspect flees from a traffic stop in Tampa, Florida. Since it's after sundown, deputies call on an infrared camera that detects heat from objects on the ground. Ground units stay a few blocks back, and the driver may think officers have given up on him. But the eye in the sky keeps the heat on. After a few minutes of this, the suspect turns into an upscale neighborhood. Then as he heads out to the main drag, he raises the danger level a few notches. Now, back in the residential area, he slows a bit, and officers suspect he's looking to bail.
stopping at a residence. Driver's bailing out on foot, running eastbound behind the house.
It turns out those suspicions are well-founded. That's an officer on the lower part of the screen. But since it's nighttime, the suspect may not even know he's there. At this point, there's a good chance this guy thinks he has put one over on the police.
He's right there on top of the roof.
But this is just the situation that the infrared camera was designed for.
Step forward, on top of the roof.
It isn't long before cops climb up for the capture. The young man is searched, cuffed, and taken into custody. Once he's brought down to earth, he'll be charged with fleeing to elude, possession of marijuana, and driving on a suspended license. Oconee County, South Carolina. Sergeant Dale Colgrove searches a truck for traces of narcotics using a drug-sniffing dog.
Show me.
The suspect, who was pulled over for speeding, sits in the sergeant's car and gets the bad news.
Give an indication on your door, on this passenger door.
Sergeant Colgrove starts his search, but the suspect slips out of the car and then tries to give him the slip. The suspect dodges the sergeant and tries to run. He seems to surrender, but not for long. The sergeant hits him with a taser. But one of the electrodes falls out and the chase is on. And now the canine finds his way out of the car as the suspect runs across the busy freeway. With help from the dog and a couple of truckers, the suspect is collared off camera. He's held in another car while Sergeant Colgrove goes back to searching the truck. He quickly finds what he's looking for. A bag sitting on the front seat reportedly stuffed with 4 kilos of cocaine. And it's safe to say that the suspect will remain in custody for a while. He is reportedly charged with trafficking cocaine, resisting arrest, and assault for hitting the canine. The dog was not hurt, and somehow neither was anyone else. You can run, but disorderly conduct will find you every time. 6 butcher knives versus 2 guns. Just doesn't cut it. And a family meal turns into a nightmare as thugs attack. Stay with us. More disorderly conduct just ahead. In Jonesboro, Arkansas, police respond to a call about a man with a knife in front of his house. But he has more than a knife. He's armed with 6 of them. Butcher knives, at least 2 in his hands and the rest in his belt. Cops keep their distance, not wanting to set him off. The man is believed to be drunk and pleads with officers to shoot him. The cops do their best to talk him out of it, but the suspect is determined, and with 3 knives in hand, he charges the officers. They wisely back up, hoping to save the man's life instead of using lethal force. The right words and the right actions finally have a positive effect. The suspect drops his knives on the ground, all 6 of them. The suspect is cuffed and reportedly charged with attempted suicide by cop. An attempt that, thanks to some cool-headed cops, failed completely. All is peaceful at this restaurant in Castleberry, Florida. A family with a small child enjoys their lunch, and a cashier up front is taking care of business. But outside the front door, a woman who just stepped out for a cigarette is robbed and forced back inside by an armed gang. 5 men in disguise march the woman forward at gunpoint, then go for the cashier. One man empties the register, while his accomplices head for the customers at the tables. The first victim is the man in the white baseball hat at the far table. When he doesn't give up his wallet fast enough, he's hit with a stun gun device. Another brazen suspect aims a gun at the family in the next table, standing right over a terrified woman with an infant in her lap. And one man at the table has decided he's not going to put up with it. Staring straight down the barrel of a gun, the man backs up the suspect nearly to the front door as a waitress to the left runs for cover. But that's about as far as he's going to get. A second suspect leaps from behind a partition and hits the man hard in the back of the head. He goes down and is hit 3 times with a stun gun. But luckily, there's more than one hero in the room. It's the father of the young man who is now on the floor, enraged. He picks up the high chair at the end of the table and goes on the attack. And now the place is a scene of total mayhem. A shot rings out, and in the distance, the older man falls to the floor. He puts up a courageous fight, but a chair is no match for a gun, as a bullet hits him square in the chest. One suspect falls in the confusion, but gets to his feet as all the suspects head for the door. Within seconds, a 911 call is placed.
911, give me a police fire medical.
I need the police and medical. We've been robbed and my father-in-law's been shot.
Police are on the scene in minutes. The injured customer is taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital and survives the chest wound. 2 other customers who were hit with stun guns are also treated, along with 2 employees who were pistol whipped by the gang. They made their getaway for now, and they left a lot of pain behind them. But fortunately, 2 heroes who stood for their families are still standing today. A police officer goes after a suspect reportedly fleeing a DUI checkpoint in Duncan, South Carolina. And he's trying to do it in reverse.
Dude, you stop your car. Stop your truck. You're not going nowhere.
Yes, he is. He's going backwards.
You're not stopping.
And the chase is on. Sort of. The officer keeps a light in the suspect's face to distract him. The suspect veers all over the road, sometimes off the road. At one point, he nearly hits the pursuing officer. But the patrol car isn't the only one in danger. The suspect overcompensates and goes off the road once more. It looks like he's stuck until he emerges again with something like half a tree stuck on his front end. Down the road, more cops are waiting to block off the suspect and hopefully bring this bizarre chase to an end. But the suspect is going to try and turn things around, clearly having a good time as he enjoys a cigar behind the wheel. He rams a patrol car off camera, gets himself going forward, and loses the tree. Now everyone's moving forward and the chase is still on. Through red lights and over bumps. The suspect gets a pretty good lead. Such a good lead, in fact, that he's able to escape for now into the next county. But his luck won't hold for long. The suspect is reportedly arrested a few days later and charged with failure to stop and reckless driving. Next up on disorderly conduct, this guy jumps out.
She just a damn lie.
This lady freaks out. Don't get left out. There's more disorderly conduct just moments away. Police in West Palm Beach, Florida are in hot pursuit of two men suspected of armed robbery. Moments earlier, a man and a woman leaving a downtown restaurant were robbed at gunpoint by two men in a red Jeep. The suspects took off when officers tried to pull them over. The Jeep blasts through stop signs on residential streets, jumps curbs, tears up lawns, and weaves between mailboxes. But they can't shake the growing number of squad cars on their tail. The suspects are looking for a place to bail when they again run off the road. The Jeep door flies open, and the cruiser moves to block the exit, but the driver squeezes his way free and bolts. A second dash cam catches the passenger as he tosses a black object away from the Jeep and runs off. Wrapped inside that black shirt is a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. More cruisers arrive as officers chase down the driver. Both passenger and driver are quickly caught and placed in the back of a squad car.
She put my mouth on the concrete and just slashed me down. Man, they whooped my ass back there, man. Hey, man, you get some medical attention?
Yeah, we'll get to the medical.
Dang, they whooped me up, man.
Both men are charged with armed robbery. The driver is also hit with felony fleeing and eluding, while the passenger faces an additional charge for carrying a concealed weapon. An officer in Forest Hill, Texas, pulls over a woman for speeding. But from the get-go, it looks like there's going to be some serious communication problems.
Yes, why you stopping? As soon as I get some information in, I'll be glad to tell you. You supposed to tell me why you pulled me up before I give you my driver's license. No, ma'am, you have to identify yourself to a police officer.
She finally turns over the license, and now things can proceed. Sort of.
Speed limit on Horton right over there is 30 miles an hour. Oh, you were doing 42. No, I was not going fast because I can't go fast because the speed is slow. Ma'am, that street is not that bumpy. I drive it every day. Tell me, I got the type of wheels on there where I can't drive fast. All right, I'll be right back with you.
The officer goes to call in a check on the license. The woman behind the wheel has her daughter in the passenger seat and her teenage granddaughter in the back. And now she's starting to play some games.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
The officer calls for backup.
331. Might want to come hurry. She's indicating she's wanting to drive off. Making all kinds of obscene gestures also.
Help is on the scene minutes later, but at the sight of two cops, the driver only gets twice as upset.
You come go tell me she's just a damn lie. I'm not doing a damn thing. Don't drive off or you will be charged. Whatever.
It's good that the driver is willing to go to court because they've been looking for her too.
You have warrants out of Arlington. They did confirm, so get out.
I ain't got no Get out of the vehicle or we'll take you out.
3 outstanding warrants to be exact. And it looks like collecting them is going to take at least 3 cops. Now the daughter in the front seat puts up a fight.
Get out!
And she's pulled out of the car and cuffed.
Get in! Get down! Right now! All right. Let my down! Let my mama go!
Mama is gonna be all right, but not without a fight.
Oh my God! You let my mama go!
It's not a pleasant sight. But there is one forgotten person in this mess who has been sitting quietly the whole time, patiently waiting it out. She's the woman's granddaughter, and it's a good thing she's here because someone in a calm state of mind needs to get this car home.
You're free to go, man.
Meanwhile, back at the station house, it's more of the same as the suspect is booked and battling all the way.
Just walk peacefully.
But let me go. I know how to roll.